very first thing I want you to focus on is your mindset. Before we dive into chords, progressions, or songs, you need to shift how you think about learning music. Without the right outlook, it doesn't matter how many lessons you take. You'll always feel stuck. This is the stage where many new students feel a bit of buyer's remorse. They get overwhelmed and they start doubting themselves. And that doubt almost always shows up in one phrase: I don't have enough time for this. For some, that may feel true. But after years of teaching, I've learned that most people, that thought is fear and overwhelm disguised as a lack of time. The truth is, you will never magically have time. That fantasy doesn't exist. Life is always busy. The only way forward is to treat the piano as a lifestyle, not a project with a finish line. Think of it like planting a tree. No one plants a tree today and expect to sit under the shade tomorrow. You water it, nurture it, slowly it grows into something strong and beautiful. Learning piano by ear works the same way. It's not a 30-day sprint, it's a lifelong relationship. The good news is growth doesn't require hours a day. Nobody has that anyway. Progress comes from compounding small, consistent investments. Just 10 minutes a day adds up to more than 60 hours in a year. That's enough to transform you from a hesitant beginner into someone confidently playing songs by ear. So, here's a choice. In 30 days, you can be frustrated because you quit, or in 365 days, you can look back in amazement at how far you've come simply because you stayed consistent. The action step that I would like you to take right now is to write down your 12-month goal. Keep it simple and clear. It could be something like playing your first song by ear, or leading one worship service without sheet music. Could be learning one of your favorite gospel songs, or it could be starting to learn how to improvise. Whatever it is, keep it clear, keep it simple, and let that be your North Star. Whenever you feel the pull of, I don't have enough time, remind yourself, time will pass anyway. The question is whether you'll have something beautiful to show for it. I have linked to a PDF down below with all of these action steps that you can take. So you can download it, print it out, and start fill it out. And then keep that PDF somewhere visible that you can see it every day to motivate you why you're doing this, what you're working towards. Lesson 2, small wins matter more, right? Let's talk about that. Let me ask you, would you rather take one giant bite of food once a week or eat small meals every day? Of course, daily meals nourishes you better, right? Piano works the same way. The myth is if you don't have an hour, it's not worth practicing. That belief kills more dreams than anything else. In reality, 10 minutes a day of focused practice beats one long session at the end of the week every single time. Why is that? Because your brain learns through repetition, not through cramming. Think about how kids learn in school. They don't sit in math class once a week for 6 hours. They touch math every day, and that consistency locks in the knowledge. So here's my challenge. Stop looking for perfect time blocks. Instead, look for small, repeatable wins. Consistency is the glue that holds your progress together. So for this step, what I would like you to do is to commit to a 7-day streak of 10-minute practices. It's short enough that you'll actually do it, but powerful enough to start rewiring how you see practice. Lesson 3, progress is not linear. Have you ever tried losing weight or getting in shape? At first, the pounds drop quickly, then suddenly, nothing happens. You're eating right, you're exercising, and the scale won't budge. And I've personally experienced that. Over the last, I want to say 3 years or so, I've dropped a total of about 70 pounds. And that first 10 to 20 pounds really fall off like that when I started, my calorie deficit and my exercise. And then I kind of just stuck. It was like I had to claw my way pound by pound, pound by pound. Now I'm down to my body weight that works nice for my height. But it's the same thing here. That's called a plateau. And it's not failure. It's part of the process. Learning piano works the same way. You'll have bursts of progress where everything clicks, followed by stretches where it feels like nothing is happening. That's normal. Think of it like climbing stairs. You practice on one step over and over until suddenly you step up to the next. Most people quit on the plateau, not realizing that the breakthrough is just around the corner. But the truth is, your brain is growing in those quiet sessions, just like muscle repair after a workout. You grow stronger during the rest period. Your muscle, your brain makes new connections between practice sessions. So for this step, the action step, I want you to record yourself playing something today. Doesn't matter what it is. Don't judge it. Don't try to perfect it. Don't try to critique. You're trying to get a raw baseline, like where you are today. Record yourself today playing something. Then record yourself again in 30 days and see the comparison. You'll be shocked at how much progress you can hear, even when it feels invisible on the day-to-day basis. That's the magic of climbing stairs instead of walking a flat road. For lesson 4, we're going to reframe how we look at time. And one of the biggest myths in learning piano, especially in the online space, is I just don't have enough time. But the truth is, you don't need more time. You need a new lens for how you see time. Think of your day like a budget, right? You might say, I don't have money to save. But if you cut out just one daily coffee, suddenly you find $100 a month, depending on the price range of the coffee you purchase. Time works the same way. You don't need 2 hours. You need a few swaps. We're going to be swapping out some stuff, right? So replace 10 minutes of scrolling on social media. God, no, I spend probably collectively over a couple hours a day on social media, partly because I run an online business and I'm responding to messages and tons of stuff across social media. But I also get hooked into just scrolling and watching random videos, right? So replace 10 minutes of scrolling through social media, right? We're going to spend that 10 minutes at the keyboard. Or you can replace one of your TV commercials, one of your TV shows. If you're watching those little 15, 20-minute TV, series, replace one of those with that 10-minute practice session. Suddenly, time appears. And here's the mindset shift. Piano is not a chore like doing laundry. It's a gift. It's like therapy for your soul, right? It's therapy for your soul. If you think of it as another task on your to-do list, it will always feel heavy, like this burden that you have to complete. So we got to change the way we think about that. But if you see it as a daily break that refreshes you, those 10 minutes then becomes the highlight of your day. So for this step, the action step that I'd like you to take, and again, the PDF is available with all of these action steps down below that you can complete. Identify one swap you can make. Maybe it's practicing right after your morning coffee instead of checking email, or sitting at the keys during your lunch break. Whatever it is, figure out, look at your entire day and see where can I scrape 10 minutes by swapping something out and making that my piano practice. Write it down and test it for a week and see how that goes. What we're trying to do is, again, rewire the brain, build a level of consistency. If you can build consistency, eventually it takes on a mind of its own, and you'll find that daily practicing just becomes a part of your daily activities, and it's no longer a burden. For the last lesson, lesson 5, we're going to be celebrating milestones, not perfection. A lot of people fall into this perfectionist syndrome, especially beginners. When you're just starting to learn something, your goal isn't to perfect. It's to build consistency and celebrate your milestones. Have you ever tried to climb a mountain? I have, only once, and I vowed never to do it again. Climbing one of the highest peaks in Jamaica, probably like 23 years ago. It was hard. Anyhow, for this analogy, have you ever tried climbing a mountain? If you only look at the peak, right? If you only focus on the peak, you'll feel overwhelmed. But if you pause and look back, you'll see how far you've already come, and that's what fuels you to keep going, right? Don't focus on the amount of things. And I think this is one of the downside of the internet. We now have access to all the musicians in the world. You go on YouTube and you see some of the baddest musicians, the best piano players, right? Hundreds and hundreds of videos and tutorials. And it's easy for us to start thinking, why can't I play like that? I need to play like that. Or you start going through all these different YouTube channels and they're teaching you all these different topics and you're like, man, there's so many things in music to learn. I'm never going to learn all this in a lifetime, let alone in a couple of years. But we got to put those blinders on. Do not focus on the peak, which would be the entire scope of music, right? Not even I knows everything about music. We're just going to be focusing on step by step, things that we can control, and then occasionally look behind to see how far we've come, because again, that's the fuel you need to keep going. Too many students quit because they compare themselves to pianists who have been playing for decades. A lot of people compare themselves with myself. Now, I've been playing piano consistently for about 22 years. Another thing that people fail to understand is that I also do this for a living. Music is what I've been focusing on for the past 22 years. I've spent 9 years in university, across 2 universities, right? I live, eat, sleep, breathe music. There's no way to compare yourself with someone who does something for a living. Just my waking moment is spent just learning and practicing everything I can about music. And I've been doing that for 22 years. So we have to be also realistic. Never compare yourself. There are people who doesn't do music full time, who can play way better than me. I don't compare myself with them, right? It does me no good. I do what I can with what I can control. And that's what keeps me going, right? So that's like jogging your first mile and feeling discouraged because you're not Usain Bolt, right? Usain Bolt's the GOAT. We all know that. Can't compare with someone who spent their entire life training to be an athlete, a sprinter, right? Most people who go to the Olympics, that's all they focus on. So we can't compare ourselves with people who do these things for a living and who spend most of their days focusing on nothing but music. That's not fair to yourself, right? So instead, focus on milestones. Even in my own day, I focus on milestones, little wins, right? Your first song, or the first time playing by ear, the first chord, the first new progression, first time you're using a passive chord, first time you're using extensions, whatever it may be. Focus on that, right? Those are the milestones that will make the progress feels a lot more motivating and a lot more fulfilling. These are victories worth celebrating. And here's the key. Celebrating milestones builds momentum. If you wait until you're a master to feel good, you'll miss 99% of the joy of learning. So we're going to be focusing on milestones. So for this level, the action step I would like you to take is to pick your next milestone today. Maybe it's playing one of your hymns by ear, whatever it might be. Then you're going to plan a small reward when you hit that milestone. Treat yourself to something. Do you like dessert? Get yourself a little tub of ice cream. Get yourself a piece of your best cake, whatever it might be. Treat yourself to something. Make it deliberate now, right? So this is something we're going to plan for. It's like your birthday coming up, mini birthdays, right? You're going to make it deliberate, something that you don't do every day. And you're going to make that a treat, right? Is it going to the movies, watching one of your favorite movies? But we're going to be treating yourself to something that you enjoy, right? That way, every step feels like a success, not just the finish line, all right? So again, welcome to the program. Glad to have you here. So in conclusion, I just want to leave this with you. Remember, learning piano by ear is not about finding extra time, rushing through lessons, or chasing perfection. It's about embracing the journey. By setting clear long-term goals, focusing on small daily wins, trusting the process through plateaus, and reframing practice as a life-giving habit, and celebrating milestones along the way, you'll create steady, unstoppable progress. Remember, time will pass, whether you practice or not. The difference is that a year from now, you can either look back with regret or with joy at how far you have grown. The choice is in your hands today. I've met a lot of students who said, I've been stuck at the beginner stage for 20 years. Why can't I learn piano? And in my humble opinion, I strongly believe it's because they're not able to stay consistent. It's because they let their mind play tricks on them that they don't have enough time. And next month, they'll have more time. Next year, they'll have more time. And 6 months from now, you'll have more time. You're the author of your life, of your day. Time doesn't just appear. You have to create it. And there are things you can do today to start creating it. Remember, you don't need hours. Trying to find hours of blocks of time within the day, for an adult, virtually impossible. But if you can carve 10 minutes here, eventually that 10 minutes becomes 15 minutes. That 15 minutes becomes 30 minutes, right? When I just started my weight loss journey, I was shooting for like 30 minutes of exercise a day. Now, I do about 2 hours, 4 to 5 days a week. Had I started out trying to do 2 hours of exercise a day, wouldn't have lasted a week. But I had to allow my body to adjust and grow with me. And so naturally I got to the 2-hour mark, not through any sheer will or forcing myself, but my body, my endurance naturally grew to be able to do that. So it's the same thing for piano, right? It's a muscle we got to exercise. If you're not accustomed to sitting at the piano for an hour a day, don't start out with an hour. Start with 10 minutes and gradually work your way up based on your availability. Some days you may have more time. Some days you may have no time. But consistency is the key. It's not about musical talent or intelligence, IQ, being gifted with music. You just got to be able to stay consistent.